Hello, dear soul, listening in the midst of the universe's quiet shift. I'm Luna Celestine, and if these words have found you, I want you to know it is no coincidence. Something deeper has guided you here, not to teach you something new, but to remind you of what your soul has always known, that you are born for moments like this, moments when the veil thins, when the tides turn, and when life stops pretending to be ordinary. There's something I must tell you right from the beginning. The full moon on May 12th. It's not the peak. It's not the final moment, the dramatic conclusion, or the cosmic exhale you've been waiting for. No, this moon is something different. It is not the end. It is the beginning. I know how we've been taught to wait, to mark our calendars, to light our candles, to circle the date and tell ourselves that's when the magic will begin. But this time, the moon didn't wait. The portal opened on May 11th, quietly but powerfully. And while many are still looking toward the sky for signs, the current has already started pulling, strong, fast, and undeniable. Whether you're ready or not, the shift is in motion. And this isn't a soft energy. It's not the kind you can meditate your way around or politely ignore. This moon comes to stir, to shake loose the things you've tucked away, old memories that ache a little when they rise, silent griefs you forgot you carried, quiet longings that never really left. They're all surfacing now, not to overwhelm you, but to awaken the parts of you that have been asleep for too long. I've seen this happening in my own community. People who've never cared about astrology, who've never spoken of intuition or energy, they're feeling it. They pause mid-sentence, eyes glazed over with something they can't name. They fidget, they sigh. They say, I don't know what's wrong, but something feels different. They're dreaming in ways they haven't in years. They're asking questions their logical minds can't answer, and they come to me and ask, Luna, is something happening? And my answer is always the same, yes. And no, you're not imagining it, because what's shifting isn't out there in the sky, it's in you. This isn't just a portal into the cosmos, it's a portal into yourself. A threshold that leads to truth, depth, and renewal. And even if you don't have the words for it yet, your soul already recognizes what's unfolding. You are crossing into a new cycle now, one that doesn't require perfection, just presence. One that doesn't ask you to fix everything, only to feel. And from what I can see, your spirit is ready. You may have already felt it. That strange, almost surreal quickening of energy around you. Things are landing faster. Words, thoughts, emotions, they're no longer floating quietly in the background. They're echoing, reflecting, manifesting. This full moon doesn't need your rituals to get started. It's already listening and responding in real time by what you think, what you say, even what you feel in passing. It's being heard, and not later, now. You casually think of someone you haven't spoken to in years, and they text you. You whisper to yourself that you need a break, and suddenly plans get canceled. You sigh, I wish I had a sign, and a stranger says something that leaves your heart stunned. This moon collapses the delay between asking and receiving. It's not just energy anymore. It's a mirror, one that reflects back not what you want, but what you are. Which brings us to something I cannot stress enough. Your words are spells. Every sentence you speak, even in jest, even in sarcasm, is laced with the frequency of creation. Be mindful. That throwaway comment? I'm so over this. I can't take it anymore. I wish everything would just change. Might not be so throwaway right now. This moon hears intention beneath tone. It feels vibration more than logic, and it responds to essence over performance. That's why you might feel like life is moving in sync with your inner world, even the parts you didn't mean to expose. The full moon is cooking reality with every emotion you serve. Joy, grief, doubt, longing, rage, surrender. all of it becomes an ingredient. So ask yourself, what have I been unknowingly feeding the field around me? And as the energy builds, something wild begins to happen. The veil between what's real and what's false begins to lift. The tension between light and shadow, truth and illusion, becomes impossible to ignore. This is not a subtle moon. It doesn't whisper. It illuminates. One moment, you may feel crystal clear, grounded, sure, knowing, and the next, confused, disoriented, almost spinning. This isn't chaos, it's contrast. The moon is showing you both sides of your reality, not to punish you, but to help you choose with clarity, to see what was once hidden, to know what was once uncertain, because when you can finally face both the light and the shadow, not just outside of you but within, that's when transformation begins. That's when you stop guessing and start seeing. And once you truly see, you'll never be able to unsee again. Something is shifting, and this time, it's pulling you into the center. If you've spent years playing it small, shrinking your voice, your light, your truth, this full moon is not letting you hide anymore. It's not a gentle invitation. It's a cosmic declaration. You are the main character now, not because you've proven yourself or waited your turn, but because your soul has ripened for this moment. The energy around you is beginning to respond to your presence like never before. You walk into a room and the air changes. You speak and people lean in, not because you're louder, but because you're finally aligned. You don't have to explain your worth to be seen. You simply have to show up as you are, whole, raw, unfiltered, and the scene begins to shift around you. And while the surface of this moon may feel bold, almost theatrical, something deeper and far more tender is unfolding just beneath. This is healing, but not the kind that requires you to break open first. This is the kind of healing that comes quietly, like a soft exhale you didn't know you were holding. You don't need to earn it with suffering. You don't need to prove your pain to receive relief. This time, the medicine is gentler. You may feel it as an unexpected lightness, as tears without a clear reason, or as a wave of stillness that passes through your chest like grace. And if you've been waiting for permission to rest, to feel peace without guilt, this is it. The full moon wants nothing from you but your readiness to receive, to trust that it's okay to feel whole again without having to struggle for it. But the most powerful moment hasn't even arrived yet, because while most expect the full moon to peak and then retreat, this one doesn't fade, it ignites. May 13th is not the afterglow, it's the eruption, the real turning point, the moment when all the energy that's been building doesn't disappear, it detonates into motion. What once felt subtle will become glaring. What was hidden will suddenly step forward with no more disguise. You may feel like something clicks inside of you or outside of you. A decision is made without thinking. A truth is spoken without planning. A shift happens in your body, your mind, or your life, and you just know. There's no going back. It's as if the universe pauses for one breath and then hits accelerate on your story, not to rush you, but to move you exactly where you're meant to be. And when it happens, you won't need to understand it fully. You will just need to trust that what arrives next is what your soul has already prepared for. There's something else moving through this portal. Something you can't quite explain, but deeply feel. The veil between the physical and the unseen has thinned, not just subtly, but almost completely. The spirit world is reaching toward you now, not to scare, not to overwhelm, but to guide. And it's doing so in ways that can't be written off as coincidence anymore. You may notice the same number appearing over and over. A name from the past, resurfacing in conversations, in dreams, in songs. A phrase that echoes throughout your day like a whisper from somewhere beyond. Even your technology might start to act strangely, delivering messages or glitches that seem too precise to be random. This is not your imagination. This is not just synchronicity. It's a language. The universe, your guides, your ancestors, call them what you will, are speaking to you. Not in thunder, but in symbols, not in explanations, but in nudges. And the more open you become, the louder the messages get. They're not asking you to solve a riddle. They're simply asking you to pay attention. And perhaps the most sacred truth of all in this moon's energy is this: you are not preparing for the shift. You are the shift. You are not waiting for change. You are the wave of change moving through this world. All the evolution you've been seeking out there, all the signs you've been asking for, all the healing you thought would come from some external light, it's already alive inside you. You've been walking with it, breathing with it, becoming it. This full moon isn't giving you power, it's revealing the power that's already been pulsing through your being. The power that chose you to carry this frequency in this lifetime, on this planet, right now. And as the energy continues to build, you're not just being guided, you're becoming the guide, the signal, the mirror, the presence that awakens something ancient in others. Not by force, but by simply being who you truly are, unmasked, unedited, and undeniably radiant. And now, as the waves of this full moon begin to swirl around and within you, I want to leave you with this. You don't have to understand it all. You don't have to make sense of every sign, interpret every emotion, or have the perfect words for what's unfolding. This is not a test. This is not a spiritual exam. This is a homecoming. Your only task is to stay open. Open to what moves you. Open to what stirs quietly in the background of your day. Open to the unexpected, the mysterious, the gentle tug of something sacred you can't yet name. Because healing doesn't always come as fire. Sometimes it arrives as a breeze, soft, invisible, but life-changing. Sometimes it doesn't roar, it whispers, it hums. It wraps itself around your shoulders when no one's watching and says, "You don't have to keep trying so hard. You're allowed to be at peace now. You don't need to earn this moment. You don't need to suffer first, prove your worth, or do something grand." The old paradigm says, struggle, break down, then maybe you'll be worthy of light. But this moon says, you already are worthy, whole, held, not because you've arrived, but because you've remembered who you are. So let this be the moon that teaches you to soften. Let this be the moon where you stop bracing for what could go wrong and begin trusting what could go beautifully right. Let this be the moon where you allow yourself, finally, to feel safe inside your own soul. Because this time, the transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finally, lovingly becoming yourself. There's one more thing I want you to carry with you as this full moon moves through your life. Not a warning, no, but a quiet invitation. An invitation to release the timeline. The one you've been measuring yourself against, the one that says you should have been farther by now, happier by now, healed by now. That silent clock ticking in the background of your thoughts. It's not divine. It's not truth, it's pressure, and it's time to let it go. So much of your pain hasn't come from what actually happened, but from the belief that you're late, that you missed your chance, that if you'd just done more, things would be different. But the moon doesn't believe in deadlines. The cosmos doesn't rush. And your soul has never been on anyone else's schedule. Right now, this moment, you are exactly where you need to be, not because it's perfect, not because it makes sense, but because this is the part of the story that could only unfold here, with you as you are. Let yourself exist without urgency. Let yourself trust the long rhythm of your becoming, even if it's slower than you hoped, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's path, because sometimes the miracle is not in how fast you arrive, it's in how deeply you learn to stay, to listen, to breathe, to be. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me. If you've made it to this point, I want you to take a deep breath, not just with your lungs, but with your spirit. Let it fill the places inside you that have been holding on too tightly. Let it soften the corners where you've been quietly bracing for life to be hard again. Let it remind you that presence, just presence, is enough. This full moon is not here to demand more from you. It's not asking you to push harder or to chase after transformation like a finish line. Instead, it's offering you a mirror, a moment, a choice. The choice to witness yourself more clearly than ever before. Not the version you try to present, but the one you meet in the silence when no one else is watching. And what if that version was already enough? What if all the shifts you've been praying for aren't coming to you, but through you? I want you to leave this video not with a plan, not with pressure, but with a quiet knowing. Something real is moving beneath the surface. You don't have to force it into form. You only have to welcome it. Let your intuition guide you more than your to-do list. Let your breath lead before your logic. And most of all, trust that every moment you choose presence over performance, you are stepping deeper into your true alignment. So wherever you are, however this moon finds you, know that your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. Not rushed, not delayed, just divinely timed, as always. I'll be right here, walking beside you in the light of it all. Until next time, take care of your spirit and let the moonlight remind you that you've always been more powerful than you realized.